Hi, I'm Beth from Restyle Pieces Boutique. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to work on this china cabinet, hutch, whatever you want to call it. It's old and brown, has lots of repairs that need done on it. The drawer is broken, there's a broken foot, partially on the foot. There are just dings and dents and a lot that needs to be fixed. I'm going to change up the hardware. I'm going to take that top detail off and we'll see what happens. So if you want to see this makeover, stay tuned. So here are the two parts of the china cabinet, china hutch, whatever you want to call it, the top and the bottom. Oh yes, I want to vacuum those spider eggs out. So I also went ahead and started vacuuming the underside of all the shelves and the top so that I could get everything dust-free so I could clean. So as you watch my videos, you'll see I do similar things every time I start a project because these are important things to do. So I clean it off with my crud cutter very well. Now I'm taking off the hardware and I'm putting all my pieces into a little container. And I've decided I need to take these off too if I'm going to put some magnets in to hold these doors on because this latch is not very good. So I undo the screws with my Black & Decker cordless screwdriver. And as you can see here, the drawer is come all the way apart. So I am using some Titebond glue to fix that. And I'm using some clamps to hold that together so that when it dries, it will be sturdy and not fall apart anymore. So the nails were coming out of these back slats, some of the nails and screws. So I glued it and re-screwed it or used new screws to hold this together and keep it sturdy and stable. So here I'm just checking all of the slats and making sure they're fine and they don't need repaired. Holy cow, look at all the things I need to repair in this top. I will sand this down and then I have a lot to fill. I need to punch in some of those nails and use some filler. Here I'm using my all-purpose putty Bondo wood filler to fill those spots, and it's a two-part putty. You use the gray part and then you use the tube of hardener, squeeze some of that out on the top, and then you have about a couple of minutes to work with it till it hardens. I like to use my spreader to spread that on and make it kind of a thin layer because it is pretty difficult to sand this down if you have a very, very thick layer. So I like to start with thin layers first, and then if I need it, I'll do a second. To remove that Bondo from your spreader, wait till it dries and just bend your spreader a little bit, and then it should just flake off. And then the rest you can just scrape off with a scraper. Pretty easy. Well, pretty easy. I'll deal with that later. Let's sand these down now that they've dried on the drawers and the top and the places that I filled on the sides. And sometimes I forget my mask and I just realized it. Oh my gosh, I need to put that on and save my lungs. Much better. I used my Surf Prep to sand down those spots with 80 grit on the side, and then on the top of the piece, I used my Festool Random Orbital Sander. It just made a lot quicker work, and I was going to sand down the top anyway, so I started with an 80, brushed off my dust in between, as I always do, really important, and then I went to scuff sanding the entire piece with a 150. I saw this gash, or this actually a big chunk that came out of the side of the top, and so I used my Quick Wood epoxy putty to repair that, and then when it dries overnight I will sand it. I thought I was pretty much finished scuff sanding, but then I found these holes in a crevice in the door, so I used a cake decorator bag, put my professional DAP wood filler in there, and filled in those spots. I also had a big chunk out of the back part of the leg of the piece, and I made a little piece that I could put the Bondo in to get that dry, and I could sand that down and repair that leg. Now what I'm doing here is I'm taking these magnets. I didn't like the latches before, so I'm attaching a plate and then a magnet to the inside of each of the doors on both the pieces so that I can have a working latch. And here I'm just checking to see the best location to put the magnet and drilling my pilot holes and screwing that in. Once I got that completed, I got out my Scotch tape with plastic on it, and then I taped up the cabinets so that I would get no spray in the shelf area or inside each of the pieces. Normally, I like to take the glass out of my pieces, but the wood pieces that was holding in the glass was very fragile and small and little nails, and I just didn't feel like messing with it. So here I am taking playing cards. We used to play poker, so we have a lot of decks of cards anyway. So I took some playing cards, stuck them into the edge, taped those where they needed to be taped. Then I put some paper over the top, and that serves as my protection for my glass when I'm spraying, so I don't get any paint on those glasses. And here I am using that same plastic with the Scotch blue tape to tape up my drawers so I can spray with my drawers in. Since I will be painting this piece with a dark forest green, I'm using my black Aqua Lock primer. I love this primer. It's so smooth. I just have to add a little water to get it to go through my sprayer, and voila, we are ready to paint after this dries overnight. I always like to let it dry overnight. I like to test my spray pattern on a piece of cardboard before I take my sprayer to my piece. I want to make sure it's not too thin and runny and not too thick, that it's just a nice, thin, wet film. And you'll see me adjusting that so that I can get that nice, thin, wet spray. And here we go. So spraying does take a while. It's not way faster than a paintbrush, but this is the normal rate of how long it takes to spray. But I'm going to speed it up because you don't want to watch that slow. See how much more fun it is when it goes this quickly? So as I said, I let it dry overnight. I give it a really light sand with a high grit sandpaper. I'm using this dark forest. I had a little bit left in one can and then another full can. So I'm going to strain it or stir it really well. Then I'm going to add a little bit of water to it. I add about 2 ounces of water to the 20 ounces of paint that I put in my cup. This fills up my cup really well and makes it so it goes through my sprayer. And now we can watch the black change to green, a beautiful green. So if you're wondering what those white spots are, that is where I saw some dings and dents last night when I was waiting for everything to dry and then I sanded it. So I added a little bit of wood filler to those dings, sanded them down quickly, and then I was ready to paint. And this is one of my favorite parts, peeling off all of the paper and the tape. Oh, so rewarding. I love it. So here you will see me using my artist brushes to touch up some of the rims and trim and the fronts of the bookcase and the underside of the pieces that might show or just needs to give it a finished look, I guess. So I hope this doesn't scare you. If I go out of the lines a little bit on the top, it's okay because I'm going to put liners in on the shelves and the drawers. So because these were flush with the frame of the piece and I did spray with them inside the piece, I have to go back and paint the edges that were on the inside when I was painting them. This is the skirt underneath the top piece of the china cabinet and it was going to show, so I of course needed to paint this area. I looked at this video after I downloaded it and I thought, oh my gosh, those doors look extra terrible there because of the glass is being so dirty, but I promise they clean up really well. Here I'm measuring carefully and adding my hardware, and my husband's taking a second look. I just needed another pair of eyes to make sure that my thinking was correct. I found these knobs on Amazon and I absolutely love them. They're heavy, they're good quality. You can get them in my Amazon shop. The link is down below. Also, there are links for all the products I used in this video. And if you don't see them, just leave me a comment and I'll get that link to you. Sometimes the hardware is not exactly the right fit because it says it comes in, for example, 3 inches, but it's actually millimeters. So it's just a little fraction off. So I had to use my drill and widen those holes just a little bit so I could get that to fit. And finally, I got them to fit. I'm measuring my shelves here to add the peel and stick wallpaper for my liners. Not going to show you what it is till it's all over. And here I'm using It's the Bomb by Farmhouse Paint. It is a beeswax based waxer, wood conditioner, and protectant. And it has a nice, fresh, clean scent. Drawer liner sneak peek. The last thing I had to do was to clean this glass very well, and you can see it's just cleaning up beautifully. And my dog Maggie had to come supervise for a little while. I was so glad I was finally to this point. It made me so happy. Let's dance. Oh yeah. So just a little reminder about where we started with this China hutch and now where I am now. Oh my goodness, this color is beautiful, and I was so glad I was able to save that backboard in this beautiful rich brown color. The liners are gorgeous, and oh my gosh, if I had room for this, I would keep it myself, but it's already sold and it's going to a wonderful home. Wow, wow, and more wow. I just love this one so much. I know I say that about a lot of the transformations. I just think this was such a huge transformation, and it just turned out so beautiful with that color and that dark wood and the hardware. The hardware is amazing, and I wish I could keep it. I know I say that about a lot of them, but I really do wish I could keep it. I just don't have room for it. It sold in one day. So I have a really happy customer that will be coming to pick it up fairly quickly, hopefully. And yeah, if you like this makeover and you want to see more, I would enjoy it if you would subscribe to my channel. I would invite you to leave comments or likes, and also click that little bell down there so that you'll get notified when I have new videos that come out. I'm trying to reach my 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, and you can help me. So see you next time. Bye-bye.